Amazon smart speaker reviews. Sonos and Alexa, a match made in heaven. Sonos has multi-room audio down to a science, but it desperately needed a speaker capable of voice recognition if it was to fend off the veritable flood of smart speakers coming to market. The Sonos One is that speaker. Update, effective November 21. You can ask Alexa to play music on Sonos speakers directly from your Spotify account. By default, if you set Spotify as your default library in the Alexa app, it sounds better than the last entry-level Sonos speaker. It's compatible with Amazon's Alexa digital assistant, and it will be compatible with Google Assistant soon. It's a great speaker for the price, and it's a must-have component for music lovers living in modern smart homes. If you already have Sonos speakers in other rooms, you can control all of them with voice commands with the addition of a single Sonos One to your network. Once you have that, you can control any Sonos speaker from any Amazon Echo. There are some limitations you'll want to be aware of. You'll need to use the Sonos app to group two or more Sonos speakers together and to split them apart. But once you've done that, you can tell Alexa to play the artist or song of your choice on any of the speakers in that group. Meet the new boss. Same as the old boss? Sonos begs to differ. Including the Sonos One reviewed here, my Sonos system has 6 speakers: garage, kitchen, living room, master bedroom, media room, and sunroom. If I click the Everywhere button in the Sonos app, I can tell Alexa to play music in any of those rooms, and she'll play the same music all over the house. If I group the media room and the sunroom together, I just need to tell her play music in either the media room or the sunroom, and music will play in both rooms. And if I split all the rooms apart again, I can stream different music to each room. That's not the only time you'll need the Sonos app, but I'll get into that later. The Sonos One bears a very close resemblance to the Sonos Play One, introduced this time of year way back in 2013. Both speakers are two-way models with separate woofers and tweeters, and the cabinets are nearly identical. But Sonos says it carried very little over from its older design. The onboard amplifier is the same, but the power supply has been redesigned. Other than that, according to my contact, the only shared parts are the bottom rubber feet and bottom plastic cap. Beyond the color of the grille, the most noticeable difference between the new and old speakers is the top. The Sonos One is perfectly flat, with the type of touch-sensitive controls for play, pause, and volume up-down that you'll find on its big sibling, the Play 5. You'll also find a touch-sensitive button for muting the onboard mic that you'll use to summon your digital assistant of choice, an LED that glows when the mic is on. The top of the 2013 Sonos Play One, left, compared to the all-new Sonos One, right. That's the opposite behavior of Amazon's and Google's smart speakers. Those of us who have an aversion to the light pollution created by the proliferation of LEDs won't like it at all. Another feature I don't like, the speaker emits a tone when it hears its wake word. If you've been cranking the tunes and forgot to turn the speaker down, the tone can be startling when the room is otherwise silent. No big deal, right? You can just change those settings in the Sonos app. Except you can't. The locked-in arrangement ensures that the customer has confidence in the status of the microphone at all times, was the response to my fact-check question. One other major difference, the new speaker has a pairing button, where the 1/4-inch threaded mount is located on the older model. Sonos tells me this enabled them to maximize the components in the speaker, and also made room for our partners to innovate on great ways to mount the speaker. Okay, but there's already a world of mounts available for Sonos speakers. Was it really necessary to render them obsolete? Any lingering doubt that Sonos simply added mix and new firmware to transform the Play One into the Sonos One will be dispelled as soon as you hear the new speaker. Sonos' entry-level speaker has long been my least favorite in the company's lineup. It's not a bad product, it's just too bright to my ears. It desperately needs to be paired with the gut-punching, but wallet-punishing, Sonos sub. Then again, $699 is a lot of dough just to reinforce a $200 speaker. The Ethernet port is still there, but the threaded mount has disappeared. When I queued up Tower of Power Squib Cakes from the band's album Back to Oakland, which I ripped from CD and encoded to FLAC, the Sonos One impressed me with its much bigger bass response and improved mid-range. Stephen Kupka's bari sax sounded so much better than it did on the older speaker. And where Chester Thompson's frenetic work